you have to stop thinking of it as cryptocurrency and start thinking of it as infrastructure. The system is designed for a multi-trillion-dollar throughput. And when the full system operates at scale, XRP is not going to be optional. To understand XRP's role in the global financial system, you have to stop thinking of it as cryptocurrency and start thinking of it as infrastructure, the plumbing of the world's money. This is the story of how quietly XRP is replacing outdated systems, enabling real-time cross-border settlements, empowering tokenized markets, and serving as the bridge for digital currencies. One jurisdiction, one institution, and one corridor at a time. It's a systemic evolution that will reshape how money moves and the consolidation of global finance on a global scale, and this is rarely discussed publicly. The traditional system so far relies heavily on SWIFT and Nostro Vostro accounts, which force banks to pre-fund foreign accounts with large amounts of capital. This is trillions of dollars trapped globally, capital that could otherwise be deployed for lending, investment, or infrastructure. Settlements can take days. There's counterparty risk, friction, and costs that are only amplified with each intermediary. Routing through the United States dollar adds even more systemic exposure and volatility. In practical terms, a bank sending 10 million across borders might have to hold tens of millions in pre-funded accounts, and the money just sits there idly on the side during settlement. Now multiply that across thousands of global financial institutions, and the scale of inefficiency becomes very clear. Interestingly, XRP has a unique feature called on-demand liquidity, which allows banks to bypass these pre-funded accounts entirely. A bank could convert its local currency into XRP, transfer it across multiple jurisdictions and multiple ledgers in seconds, and then convert it back into the destination currency instantly. No middlemen, no pre-funding, no waiting for days for settlement, no friction. And the result? Capital efficiency improves dramatically, trapped money is now freed, and settlement becomes almost instantaneously across borders, and cross-border payments scale seamlessly. Now, none of these are theoretical. They are live, they're regulated, they're already operational payment lanes where real money moves daily on the XRP rails. Each corridor is tailored to a specific banking and regulatory environment of the region. In Asia, for instance, RippleNet enables large-scale institutional liquidity. In Africa, it powers mobile-first remittance solutions. In Latin America, it bridges unstable local currencies into the global markets. Now, each of these implementations provides a use case for XRP as the liquidity engine, which is bridging multiple systems efficiently. Unlike other projects in this ecosystem, like Cardano or Solana, which I think are in the pilot phase still, RippleNet is already operational, it's regulated, is generating real transaction volume in real time across multiple continents, and as each new corridor opens, the demand for XRP increases organically to maintain the throughput. The other side of this is legal clarity, which is essential for institutional adoption. Ripple, interestingly, holds licenses across multiple jurisdictions, including Singapore, the EU, the UAE, and other jurisdictions around the world. They're already trying to obtain a banking license now. These licenses are not symbolic. They're basically going to allow banks and payment providers to operate without any regulatory risk, which is important. And while the US continues to stall the adoption through the SEC, the CFTC, Ripple just keeps expanding globally. I mean, even the lawsuit delayed nothing outside the United States. And that's very important because there's a contrast between regulatory posture and operational adoption. Every jurisdiction where RippleNet operates legally and securely increases the global trust behind it. It attracts more institutional participants, and it continues to scale the liquidity on the XRP rails. I mean, that's why you see central banks increasingly exploring digital fiat and stablecoins. It's because XRP acts as the neutral bridge that will be able to connect these digital currencies, whether you call them central bank digital currencies, stablecoins, or universal basic income. I don't really care. It's all about bridging these assets, bridging tokenized fiat, bridging tokenized assets and other digital instruments. Now, imagine a central bank using a digital currency, which would require instant settlement and liquidity across multiple banking systems. It's going to be XRP that will enable this without creating the bottlenecks or operational risk that you see in traditional financial systems today. That's why emerging economies can now participate in global trade digitally using XRP rails for liquidity, while advancing economies continue to integrate XRP to settle cross-border transactions. This is the integration that's happening quietly, jurisdiction by jurisdiction, while continuously expanding XRP's role beyond payments into systemic financial infrastructure. Governments and institutions are already tokenizing everything, which include bonds, equities, real estate, public infrastructure, carbon credits, and even commodities. Now, each of these tokenized assets are going to require fast settlement and liquidity as well as interoperability. Once again, to reiterate, XRP's on-demand liquidity serves as that neutral bridge for these tokenized markets, which means every tokenized transaction that will settle instantly over XRP rails increases the demand for XRP over time. And this gradually positions XRP as an indispensable infrastructure, not merely as a bridge asset. So tokenization isn't just about efficiency, it's really about unlocking the liquidity that is trapped in traditional instruments, which allows it to flow in the digital economy in real time. And this is where it gets interesting, because XRP's fixed supply means that scaling global liquidity is going to require its valuation to match the operational demand. Border currencies is necessary, and mathematically, to handle tens of trillions in value, the XRP valuation must rise to meet that demand. The reason you see volatility in XRP, as far as the price movements, it's only there because of the external market correlations. And I'm talking about debt-based instruments, how XRP is coupled to these debt-based instruments like Bitcoin. But as the adoption scales, the valuation is going to align with its actual use case. There will be a time where XRP decouples from Bitcoin and the overall debt-based markets. Interestingly, XRP is in a unique position to settle debt. So why is it aligned and correlated with it? It doesn't make sense. XRP functions as the bridge, settlement, and liquidity layer simultaneously, meaning its price is a reflection of real-time and real-world system requirements, not speculative sentiment like most people in the ecosystem believe. The global financial system is consolidating very quietly. All the old rails like SWIFT, correspondent banking networks, they're gradually being phased out and replaced by interoperable digital infrastructure, because the United States dollar cannot maintain global dominance alone anymore in a multipolar world. Emerging markets, including Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, are integrating XRP rails into this multi-currency framework. And you're not going to see this in the headlines, I promise you, but the momentum is real. What I'm describing to you is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. XRP is gradually becoming the neutral liquidity layer, which will enable a multipolar tokenized financial system. So where XRP goes from here has far-reaching implications. Basically, it's going to enable a few things. The migration of hundreds of trillions in tokenized assets, hundreds of trillions in cross-border liquidity without trapped capital, hundreds of trillions in CBDC interoperability across jurisdictions, a multipolar financial system independent of the United States dollar dominance. And at the same time, you see the quiet consolidation of global finance onto the blockchain rails. That means every institution, every corridor, and every tokenized market integrated with XRP will reinforce its centrality. This is all systemic infrastructure, quietly replacing outdated frameworks while the world watches the transition unfold. To conclude this video, XRP is going to be the backbone of the future financial system. Its adoption is so multidimensional, and that includes, again, tokenization, liquidity, digital currencies, cross-border settlements. Again, every integration, every transaction is only going to strengthen its role as global infrastructure. This is all structural evolution, And there is so much proof that XRP is quietly consolidating global finance and building the plumbing of the digital economy. And when the full system operates at scale, like, XRP is not going to be optional. It's going to be the engine behind the flow of capital, the flow of global capital.